All right, welcome in. This is Behind the Mirage with your host, ZLM. This is our first podcast here at Crypto Oasis. What we're trying to do is kind of just bring in some core community members here, ask their opinion on things, see what they're working on, and try to give a spotlight for it. And with that, that kind of brings us to our first guest here. I have Madoka, who has, you guys probably know him around the community. He is here to kind of show off all the stuff we have around Oasis and kind of give us up-to-date news from Gong and the rest of the dev team for Oasis. How's it going, Madoka?
What's good? What's good, man?
So
Um,
for the people that aren't really quite familiar with you somehow, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to.
as far as about myself, man, I just been in crypto for a while. I really enjoy the scene. I quit my job over crypto just because I think it's really the future. Honestly, I don't think there's a reason to work in a normal job anymore when there's so much money to be made in crypto. Hence, the creation of Oasis. Now, as far as what we're doing with Oasis, I'm sure many of you are familiar. I mean, just looking at the people that are here, a lot of you guys know what Oasis is. A lot of you guys know who I am, what's been going on. I do see like some new people, so I'll go ahead and just give a quick recap. Yeah, we did start on BSC as kind of a meme coin, and that kind of ended up snowballing into something much, much bigger than just a meme coin. And here we are now in the middle of our transition to Solana ecosystem and kind of a transition of how we are going to operate as Oasis moves forward. Instead of focusing on the initial project that we had, there's really not much money in that ecosystem anymore. So I do want to continue to provide gains for Oasis as a whole. Therefore, I do think that moving on and you know going to where the current money is just probably a lot more beneficial for all the holders that are involved in Oasis. Um,
Definitely agree. I think Solana is definitely a really brilliant move, and the fact that
yeah,
we're doing it now is very important.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the way that Solana is just now. Like a lot of people think that Solana is kind of blown off by now, but I just see Solana just continuing to go forward because Ethereum prices, Ethereum gas fees just constantly keep going up, even with all the new implementations. I mean, until F2's out, like it's just really a luxury chain for people. It's a chain for whales. A normal person can't really afford paying $160 every time they want to make a swap or paying a $90 gas fee just to mint an NFT or something versus, going over to Solana, you're paying literally fractions upon fractions of a penny to do the same thing that you'd be doing on Ethereum, and it happens within milliseconds versus minutes. So overall, I think it's just a good ecosystem for us to migrate to. So
Do you
as far
believe we would? I'm sorry.
no,
Do
continue.
you believe we would have any issues once Ethereum 2 was released and we were still on the Solana blockchain?
No, no, I do believe that there is room for numerous chains. I don't think that any one chain is going to outbeat the other. I am a diehard Eth maxi. I love Ethereum. I don't like using Ethereum right now because of the expenses, but I hold
Right.
quite a bit of Ethereum. I've been buying Eth since it was $30. So yeah, Ethereum is definitely big on my list, and I do think that there's a great future for it. And I don't think it's a dead chain by any means. But I think for the things that we want to do currently, it's just not the chain for us. It's not made for us. I think Solana is definitely a lot better in terms of speed, price, barrier of entry to newcomers. It's an extremely easy chain to use. It's extremely fast. The onboarding is super simple. You don't have to jump through hoops and go through all sorts of bridges to get your stuff on chain or anything. There's a lot of extremely good projects popping up on DeFi on Solana daily. I mean, it's just constant. Every time I look at Solana crypto Twitter, there's just new things left and right, which makes me extremely bullish for Solana as a whole. I think a lot of people here agree with that. I think Guap himself is a huge Solana maxi. And so, like I said, overall, I just think it's a good move. Um, and then as far as what we're going to be doing on the Solana chain, we are, as some of you are aware, we're making a couple things. We have some NFT projects going, multiple NFT projects going, but our main headline project is the Voodoo Cave NFT project. Shared some details about that on our Medium. You guys have seen some visual art assets. You guys have seen some of the base mechanics of it. So it will be a text-based roguelike to begin with. I think the NFTs themselves, the artwork on them is pretty great, pretty original. I think a lot of you guys really enjoyed how they look just because they don't look like those, copy paste profile pictures or anything like that. The upgrade system that we put in place for the NFTs is actually pretty unique on its own. I mean, it is very similar to a lot of the, combination aspects that like things like Bored Ape Yacht Club do and everything, but a lot of things on Solana don't do that, and nobody does it in like the method that we're doing with the exponential combinations. So that also like has the benefit of reducing the supply pool of total NFTs available, which inherently should increase the cost of the NFTs. And then we also have video game designers on board that we're wanting to have like that text-based roguelike turn into a more graphical interface-based roguelike instead. So overall, I think that is going to be that is currently our biggest project right now. I'm not sure if Gong has any information he wants to send me that he's got anything new or maybe some new assets I might be able to share with you guys. If so, I could post them, or if Gong wants to post them in chit chat. Uh,
Well, that's awesome. It looks awesome. I'm very excited for the project. I do have to ask, do you have any kind of dates, one for the migration itself and two for the NFT project? Not necessarily like a defined date, but do we have a ballpark or a range to
So
expect?
the migration should be happening within the next 20 days or so. I've got like a bit of a deadline for me. I've got everything set up. It's mainly about pulling Gong and Harry away from the Voodoo Cave project.
Yeah, they're
And
very busy.
exactly. So really, it's just a simple matter of getting the front end set up for it. Hats, who is one of Duck Team's lead devs, Hats made us a little bridge application that we're going to be using for that. That's already ready, tied up. We just need to change a couple things for it because originally we were going to use it for switching over to F. But that's just like, a couple little changes here and there. And I think he's pretty much already done with that. So TLDR, just waiting on Gong to be able to have a little bit of extra time on that to go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead, set that contract migration up and everything, and you guys will be able to go ahead and migrate your tokens. As far as providing liquidity for the tokens, that's going to happen a little bit after I do a certain project, which I'll touch base on later. But liquidity and everything should be added within about the next 30 to 40 days, and you guys will be able to completely freely trade your Oasis. Oasis price should be pumped up quite a bit from the bottom that it has been at, as well as I'll be injecting a bunch of additional funds into Oasis for my own personal wallet, just because you guys have been extremely patient with everything. I know a lot of you guys have been, when migration for months now, and been running into roadblock after roadblock, and it's finally happening. So I want to make everything, pristine for you guys once that migration happens, and give you guys who, just kind of are tired of the bags and everything, give you a chance to go ahead, exit at a decent price and everything where you're not hurting too much. And the ones who want to stay, well, you guys are going to be rewarded very heavily, I believe.
That's awesome. That sounds extremely bullish. And we thank you for the extra capital you're helping inject into this.
Yeah, I mean, not just the extra capital that I'm injecting into this, but as I said in the Medium post and Twitter post, anybody who is interacting with this, they will be getting free random airdrops throughout this entire process of
Wow.
NFTs that we're doing. So,
So definitely don't sell those coins now in the middle of the migration. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want out, man, you want out. I get it. You've been in for months with no movement, no action. Totally understand that. You want out, you want out. But I would hold a moon bag just in case. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome. Well, then that leads us into our next section here, where we have brought a few of the community members together to kind of create some sort of like a current event discussion, which we're going to do in kind of like a panel style. You guys have already met Madoka. Let's start off by meeting a few of our other people here. So I guess I'll start off alphabetical order. We got Buckaroo in here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Buck.
Hey, how's it going? I'm
Good.
I'm known as Bucko. You can find me on Twitter if you want at Buckaroni Cheese. And I'm currently working on the Silica Chain on Zildux, which is our NFT project that we've been working on for the good half of the half of this year. And I'm also, you can see me around in the community and stuff.
Awesome. What are you doing on those projects? What would you say is your contribution role?
Well, I'm sort of like I guess I like to call myself an in-house artist because it sounds very official, but mostly, yeah, just any kind of graphics or stuff for the websites or social media. Like I get that all done, and then any like visual media that we might need for the website and the dApps that we're going to be building, that's also mine to do. And like, fan art and fun stuff in between.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. Let's move on down the line. We got a few people to introduce here. Next up, we got Crisp. And
Hello.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Crisp?
Yeah, sure. I'm Crisp. I'm a crypto enthusiast, trader, and 3D artist. I'm also working on an NFT gaming project right now, but I don't have much to tell about that yet. Maybe in the future podcast.
Ooh, very
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, sure. It's really interesting.
Okay, well, we'll just keep going down the line here. Next up, we got Guap here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Guap.
Hello. I'm the technical analysis guy of Oasis. I don't have any affiliation with any of these projects, but I'm sticking around these guys and I'm rooting for them. I know most of the time I just shitpost in chat, post charts, and I know share my enthusiasm for crypto. And I also like to think that I helped a lot of people just with. I don't know, giving live streams, teaching them how to chart. But yeah, by now everyone has gotten pretty good, so that's nice to see.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you for what you contribute with. All right, and then that brings us to our last guest, not least though, Miner. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Miner?
Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I'm Miner. I mine cryptocurrency for a living. I'm into pretty much all things cryptocurrency. As you guys have seen, I've been around the chat for a long time. Anything that's like printing, making money in crypto, like you guys know, I'm always right there. Like when Polygon is popping off, I'm there. AVAX is I'm always like looking for the next shit. But yeah, honestly, my specialties are in mining. That's really what it comes down to. I've been in crypto for a really long time. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2011. I got it off Mt. Gox. I used Dwala to transfer the funds. It was super, super sketchy back then.
Wow.
And yeah, I watched Bitcoin go up throughout the years and didn't buy back in until it was 2000 again. I saw it at
no.
Yeah, dude, I saw it at $300 and I was like, dude, it's way too much. I bought Bitcoin at $1.50 each. I bought 50 of them for $30 or something like that. And I still have my old account on the Bitcoin Talk forum. It was made in 2010. And there's a post on there of me trying to sell my iPod for 10 Bitcoin. Because people were just selling random shit for Bitcoin. And yeah, it was crazy, man. So it's been a crazy journey, honestly. I got into mining in 2014, maybe. Originally, we were mining all sorts of different random shit, but it was really Dogecoin back then because I worked for sorry, I don't mean to go off for a long
No,
time.
you're fine. This is awesome. Go ahead.
But I worked for Samsung for a little bit, and I was selling like mobile phones and tablets and stuff. And a lot of the guys who worked at Best Buy, like they were like all talking about crypto and stuff. And by that point, I had already thought I was like a veteran. I was like, I bought Bitcoin 3 years ago. Like, I know crypto. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, we were talking, and they were talking about if they bought the stock of all the graphics cards there and started mining with them, that they could make back their investment. And like, I think it was like back then it was like 12 months or something like that. And it was like crazy because they're like, whoa, like if we just get this all together and do this. And then I was like, that's like kind of what originally got me into mining. To kind of backtrack, I downloaded the Bitcoin Core wallet. And in the Bitcoin Core wallet, you could directly mine from it. There's a button that said mine. You click it and you'd start mining. And I was like, what the hell is this? You click the button and then my computer went really slow. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I didn't understand it at all. There was like way less literature. The only place to get information was the Bitcoin Talk forum. And like back then, I felt like everybody there was like a genius. Like there's all these like cryptographer, like computer guys, you know what I mean? So, and I was young back then too. And, it was a new world. So, so I had learned about Dogecoin, and then that's when I kind of got into mining. I mined a bunch of Doge. I lost a shit ton in a wallet. I sold a bunch for really super duper low price, way, way, way under a cent, multiple zeros under like a cent. Never bought back in because I was like, it was always way too expensive. And when Dogecoin hit a cent, I was like, there's, no way I'm buying. Are you kidding me? Like that's way too expensive. And then it goes to like 70 cents or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, like how do I keep missing these? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anyways, fast forward, 2017 is when I bought my first rigs, like actual rigs. I bought 6 Vega 56 cards. All the cards were like $600 or $700 each. They were really fucking expensive. But they were like, it was the dopest card. They had just came out and it was like the best card that was out. I'm still mining with them today. They're tanks. They're really, really good. Yeah. And so anyways, I bought those, started mining Ethereum. Ethereum was like $80 back then. Honestly, if I would have just bought Ethereum and held, you know what I mean? I might have like made more money if I would just bought Ethereum the whole time. But anyways, so I started mining then. I was such a noob. I melted like 2 cards. I fucked up the electrical socket in my house. I completely burnt it. I had no idea what I was doing as far as the electricity goes. I had no idea how to undervolt everything properly. I just like literally made every mistake you could possibly make. But I figured it out, like hammered away. Dude, it took me a long time. Like, because even back then, the literature wasn't as good as there is now. Now you can go into Discord servers and like ask people questions and people will like help you out. And like you can get help really quick. Back then, it's way hard. It took a lot longer. So honestly, before my rigs were up and running good, it took me like 6 months, 6 to 8 months probably. And I was working on it quite a bit. And it was hard for me back then because I didn't really know what I was doing. So fast forward, I had those going for a while. And then I really added a bunch in, it was like, what was it, 2019? Right before this bull market happened. So yeah, 2019, I got a bunch of Vega or a bunch of 5600s, a bunch of 5700s. So now I have about 50 cards running, and those are just like kind of going nonstop. So that kind of basically pays my bills. So yeah,
Awesome. That's quite the operation you got there, man.
So yeah, long introduction. I don't mean to keep blabbing on and on. But yeah, love crypto, love trading. I love NFTs now. I'm doing a lot of community management stuff. I'm helping people out on Twitter. So yeah, that's pretty much me. Yeah, moving on.
Awesome. Well, no, you're good. Thank you for that.
Cool.
Well, guys, what I brought you guys here for is I wanted to just, ask a few questions of things that are relevant right now. Get your guys' opinion on them. There's no right answer here. This is not financial advice for anyone, but for anyone that's kind of paying attention to the news, it doesn't really know how to feel. Here are some questions that might give you a little bit more insight. With that, I want to start off with last June. The president of El Salvador declared that Bitcoin would become legal tender for the country of El Salvador. This law passed on September 7th, and it was accompanied with a flash dip in Bitcoin. And it's lost a lot of value on the day that they launched that currency. With that, do you believe that it's possible for cryptocurrency to be a country's sole legal tender? And if so, what could be some of the repercussions and benefits to this? Guap, would you mind taking this one?
Oh God. I actually don't think it's a smart idea for El Salvador to make this their
Only.
their only legal tender. I mean, one black swan and their country is fucked. I do like that. How do I say this? More financially unstable countries are opting for cryptos. It might be a nice alternative, but I think we're too early to
Mhm.
completely switch over.
Do you believe you could see a country potentially get rid of fiat completely, but have something like Bitcoin as legal tender, and also a stable coin of some sort is legal tender?
Yeah, I think it's more likely that we'll eventually switch to, I don't know, stable coins, online euros, online dollars. China is working on their their electronic yuan. So I don't know. I think that's coming, but Bitcoin, I'm not sure, man.
And
Okay,
that's
awesome.
something I totally agree with you on. I think we're more likely to see a transition into stablecoin based economy versus fiat based economy. Something that I saw on Twitter earlier today was just this huge entire list of all these VCs and all these different, normie companies that don't mess with crypto, just looking to get into, utilizing USDC for transactions, people paying software devs in USDC, people like just automatic royalties paid out in things like USDC, things like these. I think that is where like the true country-based mainstream adoption is going to come. I don't think it was extremely wise for El Salvador to solely place that on Bitcoin, just due to the inherent volatility of Bitcoin. It's like Guap said, it's way too early for that. I don't think that's something that was completely wise, but we'll see how it plays out. I mean, their countries like kind of split 50-50 on it as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what Madoka said as well about stable coins being like the future. I think that's what it's going to be. I think Bitcoin could be used as like collateral or like in a treasury, but the main currency should be like something that's stable because like people don't want to. It's way too volatile for that to happen. And with DeFi and everything that's happening now with smart contracts, you see like all of these big like finance guys, they're really into stable coins. Like that's really where it's at. Like tying like a stable coin and doing smart contracts. I think that's really the future. With the financial system, but having it purely like a Bitcoin. I mean, obviously, Bitcoin will never work as a main currency. Everybody knows that. Transaction fees are still way too high for that. So it'd have to be something else inherently. But still, even then, I feel like it has to be a stable coin. I think that the crypto Bitcoin itself is better as the collateral, as like gold. You have it in the vault, and then
Right.
you have the stable coin. So
A measure of value.
yeah, correct.
So thank you for those replies. With that, I have to ask, the entire world of cryptocurrency kind of runs on the US dollar as a pairing in most situations. What are the chances there would be an immediate economic depression if majority of the countries drop this US dollar for any other fiat, stablecoin, or cryptocurrency to be the main pair? Madoka?
All right, so something that I have noticed is there has been actually a lot of push for us to be based off the Singaporean dollar. I'm not sure if a lot of you have seen that, but there's this huge push in the crypto community to base it off of that because of its inherent deflationary aspects as like the national currency to begin with, but it's also a very strong dollar that has shown strength throughout the years and continues to show strength. Um, as far as the economic repercussions of moving away from a USD-based stablecoin, I think that wouldn't really impact crypto all that much because at the end of the day, these are, all just based off of like the farms. So the farms will just switch over to whatever stablecoin people are going to be choosing, regardless. I think that would have huge implications for America as a whole, though, when their dollar isn't considered, stable enough to be a stable coin. That would be a huge issue for the American government that they would need to take care of and American citizens as a whole. Which isn't, I mean, honestly, something that I'm really concerned with because America's been shooting themselves in the foot left and right on this. So it
Yes.
would be like, you get what you deserve at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We did have a chance to be somewhat of the forefront of this and chose to ban it. Not ban it, but just not really welcome.
I think my recent tweet about one of the interactions that our Discord members had in here today with Woo Exchange was pretty on point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody's trying to buy
read it for us.
Woo, and it seems like you're accessing WooX from an IP, blah blah blah, belonging to one of the following countries. Now tell me, which country here is different from all the rest? All right, this is a list. It's a very small list. Afghanistan, Cayman Islands, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Syria, and the United States. One country is different from all the rest. Now tell me why we're banned from doing that. Like, why can we not utilize our funds how we want?
That's definitely a good question. Does anyone else here have anything they want to input on that?
I don't know, man. Like, I think, honestly, maybe this might sound pessimistic, but the goal is to get rich before they ban crypto.
Very true. Very true.
I think all of us are here for that right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Mendoga. Let's move on here. So, last thing on the subject here. In your opinion, what caused the flash dip on El Salvador's Bitcoin launch day? Crisp?
That's a good question. I mean, we could say that it was manipulated, obviously, by other entities that wanted to get money from all the retail investors and put it in their own pockets. I mean, on-chain data kind of suggests this thesis. Obviously, the bad news triggered the cascading effect downwards. We got Elon twittering back then. We got China FAT, a lot of bad news coming together. I think, it was probably a mixture of all those.
Not to get too conspiracy or deep state into you, do you believe that there was a chance at all that this could have been a manipulated attack or targeted attack to make Bitcoin or cryptocurrency not seem like a viable choice for legal tender?
I'm not sure. I don't think it was a targeted attack against crypto.
I think it was just a targeted attack to their wallets. Like, insiders just bought early, people front ran the El Salvador, and then once they started buying, the whales took profit.
Yeah, I mean,
just like buy the news, sell the rumor, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's an incentive for people that want to manipulate the market to do it exactly at an event like this, where probably is a lot of buying pressures from retail investors, so they can siphon out as much money as possible.
So, well, if no one else has any more input, I'm going to kind of change the subject here. NFTs have been a huge recent big current rising event right now. they've actually taken over our community's focus, and our NFT channel is actually our most poppin' and active channel versus even our main chat or any other token and TA chats. With Solana being fast, cheap, and relatively easy to host on, we are seeing a huge influx of NFT projects launching every day. Do you believe we will experience what some in the industry have called minting fatigue? And are we already there? Miner, take us away.
Take us away. All right. Minting fatigue. Yeah, I think so for sure. I'm already experiencing it myself. If you look on how Rare is, if you look on Sol Analysis, you see how many drops there are per day. There's so many per day. On Twitter, I find a new one every single day. There are ones launching I've never even heard of. There was one that launched, they only minted under 100, and their max mint was like over 2,000. So yeah, I think it's definitely happening. There was a point in time where all you had to do was make an animal, and like it was going to sell out because there's so few. Like during the time of Soul Bears, like right before then, there's so few coming out that anything got exposure that was coming out, and then there was this massive rush. Everybody's doing NFT now. Everybody has an NFT project. Everybody's working on some sort. It's massive right now, and it's very easy for normal people to get into NFTs as well. The barrier to entry is like kind of low. So yeah, I think there's minting fatigue, but by the same token, I think that real good art stands out regardless. Like I still like to mint stuff, and I like to mint the stuff that's cool and fun and that's good. Obviously, I'm not minting everything right now, and I've been super busy. But like, there's some stuff coming out right now that I think is cool that I want to mint. Like Gloom Punks. I was looking at. I want to mint that. Obviously, all the projects everybody here is working on, I want to support that and mint that, and I think it's good as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely minting fatigue, but at the end of the day, I also do think the cream will kind of rise to the top. At the same time, you got to get people's approval, like within the community, and sometimes that can be hard. Like we saw with the Stallions, like they didn't have a whole lot of hype coming in to their mint, but then a few people who are influential in the community tweeted about them. We had a nape call on it, and then before we knew it, they were sold out. So 10K mints stuff is still selling out, but it has to be a little bit different. Obviously, the Stallions, they have like a game that they're involved with. The stuff that I'm seeing that really works is either one, it has really great creative art. That's just the space geckos. It looks really cool. I don't know if you guys have seen Yakuza Cats. Their stuff's really cool. They have a really cool concept. The art's awesome. So yeah, I think there is minting fatigue, but I still think that there's a lot of people looking for cool stuff at the same time. But the market is super saturated right now, so it's more. I think it's difficult to stand out. So yeah, that's probably my take on that.
And I do have to ask you, are you more of an NFT collector? Like you buy them, you hold them, you wait for a decent amount of time, or are you a flipper? Do you buy and try to get your money back as soon as possible?
I mean, at first I was simply flipping because I hadn't had any projects, honestly, that I wanted to hold. I hadn't gotten until I got like a monkey, Solana monkey business. I like the idea of collecting like the blue chip ones, like having a Solana monkey business, having a DGen ape, having a thug bird. You know what I mean? I feel like if you can afford it, you should have all of those ones because they're going up insanely in price. Like when I got my first thug bird, they were like 4 soul. I don't know what they're at now, but last time I checked, they're at like 15 soul floor or something. So it's like getting these ones. Today. What are they?
38 today.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I didn't even know that. Crap. I haven't even looked. Oh my gosh. So 38. So there you go. It's like if you're paying attention on Twitter and you kind of buy the ones, Twitter runs everything in the NFT world, I feel like. If you don't have a community on Twitter, you don't have people rocking your profile picture, you don't have, you know what I mean? It's going to be very hard. So I can't remember where I was going with this, but yeah, am I a collector versus am I a flipper? Yeah, I will collect the blue chip ones, but I tend to flip the flash in the pan ones. I can kind of tell, like the cows, for example, I was trying to get rid of that ASAP. I didn't want that cow. Like I knew I had a rare one, but it's like I'm trying to get rid of this thing ASAP. My monkey, I was after I bought my monkey, it dipped like 40%. And I was like, man, maybe I bought the top. I was not feeling good about it. And then now it's up 100 Sol from where I bought.
Well, the
So
Solana monkey business seems to be some sort of like a brand for Sol NFTs. Like, if you have seen Sol NFTs, you've probably seen the Solana monkey business, or at least the fast food parody of it.
yeah, they have so much influence on the community itself, them and the Thug Birds. There's like a pretty small group of people that if you get, if you get their approval, if they sign off on you, it helps a lot. And yeah, they have a lot of they have the whole Monkey DAO now that they're really pushing. So they have a lot going on, a lot of influence. They kind of run the Solana NFT. Them, the DJ Apes, the top ones.
Right.
But yeah, that being said, there's some up and comers and stuff that are, trying to break through. So it'll be exciting to see. I don't want to take up too much time though. So yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you. As for our next question, I think this is going to get a little bit spicier, but as an artist, how do you feel about the huge influx of low effort, poor quality art becoming successful? Buck, would you mind answering this one?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for anyone to say what's good quality and what's bad quality. I mean, in the first days of the marketplaces or NFTs in general, it wasn't really drops per se. It was more like you could see people putting up things that were maybe more of value to them than they were to anyone else. You didn't see many collections. These sort of collection-based drops have been only happening in the recent months. And like, I think there's so many factors that play into it. If you see people buying something not for what it looks like, but for what it represents, like so many NFT projects have such a big community behind it that it doesn't even really matter what the NFT looks like in a sense, especially if it has any kind of like utility. But like, I think even the lowest quality ones, like there's always ones that you can tell it's an absolute cash grab, and no one's gonna buy that. Like it's probably gonna make a little bit of money, but it's not gonna take off. Good projects need to have that perfect trifecta of having a use case, or a very good community, or very good art. And it's hard to say what's good art and what's bad art, as I said, but there's definitely ones that stand out, and there's a certain like subjectivity that plays into it. Like if you like it, then you like it, and that's if it has value to you, then all the power.
Okay, thank you for that. I do want to ask this same question to another artist we have here, Crisp. As an artist, how do you feel about the huge influx of low effort and poor quality art becoming successful?
Yeah, have a little bit different standpoint of this. Of course, you can't say what's good art and what's bad art, but I see that a lot of low effort stuff gets flown into the market. People, don't put in much effort. Maybe they crank out this project in 50 hours or so. And on the other hand side, you got artists that only mint one or two of their art pieces. They put in a lot of work, and they barely earn any money with it. And it's kind of sad to see that marketing pushes those projects a lot, and people that just create art and mint it barely earn anything with it. I think that's kind of sad to see.
I can definitely agree with that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because like the difference between having a lot of people buy into one project versus one artist putting up like maybe 1 or 3 or 5 of the works, it's not going to be even close to the amount of money that it's going to make. Like that person, the artist might make a decent amount of money compared to the time that they put into their work, and love and everything else and creativity, but it almost never amounts to anything like that compared to just people jumping onto a project because they think it's going to be worth more in the future. And I'd
Well,
like to see that more.
I have a question for both of you then. Would you guys argue that it's more important to try to time a release and have everything line up correctly, launch pretty decently and all that, versus just have a strong influencer in your chat? I say this with a little bit context. NFTs are starting to launch on ADA, and potentially maybe a low effort project could actually get sold out very quickly as their first come first serve sort of thing. What's your guys' opinion on that?
I mean, there is exactly the blue ocean effect. If you're the first one on ADA or one of the first, you obviously will probably moon compared to if you launch later. And influencers take a huge part in that. If you got the influencer, he obviously pushes your project pretty big. So yeah, I would say it's timing and marketing.
If you had to give one side more importance, what would you pick?
I mean, timing isn't that easy. I mean, you can only be the first on ADA or AVEX, so you don't always have that factor for you. But I would say if you can time it, it's probably better than having an influencer on your side.
Buck, your opinion?
I find it funny how people call some NFT projects blue chips because it's a lot harder to tell what's going to be more important and a piece of the pie in a sense, like in the future in a chain. But a pretty good factor is what's going to be one of the earliest ones. You know, that's going to be, as long as the chain takes off in the future or gets any kind of volume, that's going to be one of the first people in there, and it's going to have that cumulative effect. And yeah, as I said, it's hard to tell what's going to be worth in the future, but timing versus
Influencing?
yeah, I mean, it's hard to time anything. Timing is like, you might think you're one of the best traders ever, but you're never going to sell the top and you're never going to buy the bottom. That's just up to anyone. You can try your best, but I think getting at least, maybe not even an influencer from the outside, but you know, the best thing, or well, in a perfect world, you would have the people behind you already. But that's, you know, that's going to take years and years of getting people on board with your ideas and art and whatever you're giving out. And you know, if you do have a movement behind you already, like, then you're pretty much set. You can make a project or a NFT drop and pretty much have it sell out immediately. You can see this happening now with rappers giving out NFT drops and YouTubers and TV people and anyone. But as in terms of like art, it's hard to get a big movement behind you. And in that case, I would say, you know, it never has to be one or the other. It's never black and white, you know. So it's, yeah, again, it's subjective. You're gonna have to think about what's gonna be best in the moment.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, Buck. All right, I got one more question for NFTs, and we can move on subjects. And that would be, what do you think the people here listening now can do to best prepare themselves for an NFT bubble popping? Madoka?
Bro, all I gotta say, man, y'all need to take profits. I see you guys, like, I see a lot of people just holding on to a lot of NFTs, and they're just like, no, I'm not selling. And everybody's got their investment strategy, man. And NFTs are like no different than, you know, trading tokens, trading futures, any of that stuff. You know, it's all about the risk reward. But I think the best way to protect yourself from an NFT bubble pop is to keep yourself liquid, man. my personal favorite investment strategy for NFTs, for something that I think is going to be at least like decent, cop a couple. If it's like 1, 2, so like cop like 3, 4, 5 of them, maybe. Sell a couple secondhand right off the bat, just so you get your mint cost back. That way, everything from there is just coast and clear. Whatever profit you get from that is just extra profit on top, and just kind of pyramid up your sales after that. I think that's the best way to keep yourself safe in the NFT game. That way you don't get overinvested. But then again, you have people like, D-Rec and Miner who will they're max mentors, man. They will just mint everything. They'll spam the fuck out of that mint button. And I get it. That's high risk, high reward right there. And it has obviously paid off well for both of them, multiple scenarios too. So
I have to ask you, just based on your own methods, how long on average would you hold an NFT? And what is too long? And arguably, what is too soon?
It really all depends. There were just talks about blue chip NFTs a lot, and talks about how do you know that they're going to be blue chip NFTs. That right there is like one of the major things. A lot of people paper-handed SMBs. A lot of people never even bought SMBs because they were stupid. To them, they weren't going to be blue chip NFTs. Nobody saw that happening at the time, but it happened. So that's also part of my strategy, is that I generally will never sell out fully of a collection. If I've made money off of a collection, I'll typically try to keep at least one. Like Enigmas, right now I've got an Enigma that isn't selling. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm just gonna keep it, just on the off chance that Enigmas was like really cool because they came up out of nowhere. They had a very low following on socials. I mean, they had like less than 200 people on Twitter. They had like maybe 300 people in Discord on launch. They sold out within 2 hours, and then like a day later, floor is like 15 sold already, and it's just like, wow, that's kind of crazy, So it really just it depends. I don't see there being a too late. I mean, too late is obviously when it sells to zero and there's no volume. That's when it's too late. At that point, you're just back older, and I hope you enjoyed the JPEG that you got.
So would you argue that people make the mistake more of selling too soon than selling too late?
I think a lot of people do make the mistake of selling way too soon. I mean, I do it all the time. I minted geckos for 2 SOL. I sold them for 5 SOL because I didn't think that they were going to be that great, because I wasn't really thinking. But then I started looking, and it's like, okay, a lot more influencers are talking about this, and I thought they were. The art is actually pretty sick and fairly unique, to the whole ecosystem. You don't even see anything like that on F, It had a really nice, unique art style. The website was really nice, and so then I FOMO'd back in, and I bought one at 7. I sold 2 at 5, and then I buy 1 at 7, like an idiot. But whatever, I thought it was a good decision, and then instantly the price goes down as soon as I buy it. Of course, it happens to everybody who does that. You buy something, as soon as you buy it, it just goes down. And I was just
for those who
whatever.
don't know, Gecko's right now is 16 SOL, so that was actually a really good purchase Madoka made.
Yeah, and even then, so I just sold my Gecko earlier today for 14 SOL.
The regret will always be there, but most importantly is you took profits, you got gains, you flipped it, you made 2 times. So very good.
But also, Gecko is something that could potentially be just the same as SMBs. They could have 100 floor, 200 floor within a month from now. I could have easily just very, very, very badly screwed myself on that. But I was taking profits because I've lost so much on some recent coins or some recent NFTs like Groovies. You see stuff like Groovies, decent quality art. Now, here's where we get into the concept of art quality. That's something I want to touch on. It's like Groovies, they're not AI generated as far as I'm aware, right? These are like hand-drawn or semi-hand-drawn or something like that.
I'm not familiar. If anyone wants to comment, please do.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but decent art, man. I like the art, but then you have stuff like you said, the art doesn't really matter when it comes to NFTs. It's really more about A, the community, and B, the influencers and your socials. that's the main game about NFTs. It's no different than, somebody who's professional video game player who's never streamed on Twitch, but then all of a sudden they start streaming on Twitch. Well, they're not going to get any viewers compared to, like, I mean, excuse this, but like some, Twitch girl, with the camera pointed right at the tits. Obviously, they got like 60K plus viewers constantly versus like some dude on the camera who, I mean, doesn't really look good, but like, plays video games like a motherfucker, and just like working. It's like that whole difference with like what you're selling, how you're promoting it, how you're interacting with your people and everything. And that's not to discredit real art, but like even with real art, you got to bust ass on the marketing for it.
Right. You still have to. There's still dev work to be done. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Well, from that, let's go on and keep going down the line here. I got just a couple of more subjects left, and we'll get into charting and some technical analysis for people. But with the rise of meme coins and the accessibility of scams over the years, making a crypto project has become exponentially easier, especially with the most recent NFT crazes we just talked about. Dogecoin, in particular, has been forever touted as the king of meme coins, but in this extremely volatile market, it has still remained a top coin. Is this healthy for the market? Guap, take us away.
I like Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is basically an on-ramp for beginner retail investors. So if they buy they buy Dogecoin first, then they interact with crypto, and slowly they buy Bitcoin and then other shit coins. I know I do think that Dogecoin is a good thing, although I'm not sure whether it'll have its shine the next couple of months. I know I feel like the 70 cent dump kind of felt like an exit opportunity for a lot of whales. So and lots of retail investors are currently trapped in Doge too. Like a lot of people are underwater, except those that bought early, of course.
Right.
So I'm not sure if there's enough buying pressure. We'll see. Depends on Elon Musk, really.
Do you believe that meme coins have a place in the top 10 or top 20 crypto coins?
Top 10? I don't know, but I would have peace with Dogecoin in the top 20 forever.
Forever. Okay. Just because you said forever, I have to ask, are you okay with, Dogecoin being a top coin forever with zero dev work, zero marketing, zero advancement? It just continues to be a meme. Do you believe it still has a rightful spot in the top 20?
I think that's the reason why it's here. Like, it's just simple. It's just a meme. It's just Dogecoin. There's nothing complicated you need to explain. It's just a coin with a Doge on top of it, I think that's partly also the charm of it.
With Elon and other famous crypto figures hopping on the panel for Dogecoin, it may no longer just be a meme. Do you believe that this will hurt the coin or make it even better? Like you just said, you think that simplicity is a good thing and why it has done so well.
I don't know whether it will be better for Dogecoin, but I'm pretty sure it's more profitable for Dogecoin. That's the only thing I can say for certain.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. All right. Well, should each blockchain...
Oh, go ahead. For the Dogecoin.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Let's go.
So I think Dogecoin gets a lot of flack, too much flack. People say, oh, meme coin this, meme coin that. But when it comes down to it, Dogecoin is proof of work cryptocurrency. It's the network never goes down. When has the Dogecoin network gone down? And, we all saw Sol Network go down. Dogecoin does not go down. Dogecoin is extremely secure. Do you remember a 51% attack on Dogecoin? I mean, it might have happened, but it's not, you know what I mean? Dogecoin, I feel like, is a secure network. It's a legitimate coin. It's a fork of Litecoin. It has cheaper transactions. So I don't, and you say, oh, there's no further development. Well, there's no further development on Bitcoin either. And Bitcoin is amazing still, regardless of the transactional. It is the first mover. But you know what I mean? I think Dogecoin gets more flack than what it deserves. And I think Dogecoin is actually a very legitimate cryptocurrency. And I think once crypto becomes more stable, I think Dogecoin is great for transactions. Like if you were going to use something not a stable coin, I think Dogecoin is one of your best options. Dogecoin, Litecoin, Nano, things like that. Dogecoin, I think, is fast, super secure. The market cap is super high for a reason. A lot of the investors, a lot of the big whales that are in Bitcoin, a lot of the big whales that are in Ethereum, they have giant stacks of Dogecoin as well. And a lot of it is the culture, the meme aspect, but at the same time, it is a legit coin at the end of the day. It does. I feel like it's better than a lot of other things. A lot of these other tokens that are rising as well. So I think Dogecoin just gets a little bit more flack than what it deserves. That's kind of my input.
That's exactly what I want to hear. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
I kind of agree with that, but with Dogecoin, I have one issue, and that is the token distribution and the holders, because the number one Dogecoin address holds 28% of the whole supply, and the top 100 hold 64%. I don't think that's good for any crypto, because most of these addresses are also active. That's also why Dogecoin pumped so high in the first place, because it's very illiquid. Most coins are held by big entities, like Miner said. So I don't really like that. If it changes and the token get distributed better, I'm fine with it. I would like it. But right now it's kind of scary to see these big whales.
No, that's fair. I think that's a super fair point. Yeah, the distribution is really, really bad on it. Yeah, there's that one guy that holds so much of it. So yeah, that's a totally fair point, I think, as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, I think Dogecoin is here to stay. At the end of the day, I think a lot of these, I think, for example, I can't remember who it was, the founder of Dogecoin, they made this series of tweets talking about how manipulated the crypto markets are and how a very small group of people have most of all the crypto. Just like in the real world, very small amount of people have all the money. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of that translates to crypto as well. And when it comes to wallet distribution, it's very, very difficult to know what's real and what's not real, because a lot of people have multiple wallets that have their money spread out. Like, for example, I know people who have a bunch of Bitcoin, but they have it distributed through multiple wallets, so that people can't see how much Bitcoin they have. I think that's happening a lot as well. So when you look at wallet distribution and stuff like that on any coin, I think while Dogecoin is right out in the open, it's right there. I think we might be surprised. It might be like that for a lot of things, but you just don't see it on the Chain Explorer.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for that. So still on the subject, should each blockchain or some sort of central authority have some sort of blacklist system for serial ruggers? Why or why not? Buck, can you answer this for us?
Serial ruggers?
Yeah. So, for example, BSC is pretty much like a wasteland of scams. The Oasis community kind of sort of stepped in and marked some of those scams, and flagged those wallets. Other people have been getting more clever in making like flag tokens in which that they can send an NFT or something like it to one of those scam wallets that they can't get rid of, and it just pretty much marks them or flags them as a scam. The community has needed to step in because there's not really much tools or anything out there to keep track or watch these guys and warn other people. So basically, reiterating the question, do you believe a blockchain should have some tool to potentially help keep track of these serial ruggers? Why or why not?
Yeah, tool, definitely. There should definitely be tools, and there should definitely be more transparency, and word needs to get out. If there is one and people need to share this information, it needs to be as visible as possible. Do I think a blockchain should be able to blacklist addresses? No, definitely not. That takes away pretty much the whole point. That's like centralization, what we're talking about every single day. But yeah, I think it's a little bit harsh to say. I don't want to call it a slippery slope, but it's more like at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the community and the people that use the actual chain, and the tools that are going to be available are going to be offered by the people that use them. So I think if it's possible in any way, it should be known to people how to avoid sending anything to these addresses and interacting with these smart contracts. But they should definitely not be, blocked off by a higher power, because that's not the point.
Do you believe that this could be potentially another use case for governance tokens? Say community could come in, use some of the governance tokens to vote a serial rugger or put that on the chart. Or do you believe that is too high of an entry?
Oh yeah, totally. As long as it's like equally split. You see a lot of governance tokens that require a lot and a lot of finances to put in even a percentage of a vote. So I think there's stuff being put out now. I'm not very much a math person, but I think just the way it's like distributed and how much voting power people get per token is that still needs to be worked on. But I think yeah, pretty much any kind of decentralized voting it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Awesome. Well, moving on. With the huge influx of projects and scams, how can someone teach themselves to avoid a scam or a scam project? Miner, you say you're in everything crypto. You've been in a lot of chains. You must have experienced a lot of scam projects. What would you tell people to help them teach themselves to avoid them?
I would say, geez, yeah. I mean, scams are everywhere, obviously. At a certain point, it's up to you to protect yourself and not just send money to people you don't know, buy things that you're not educated on. You know, there's only so much that you can tell someone before it's like, hey, man, like, what the hell are you doing? That being said, these scammers, they take advantage of psychology. That's really what it comes down to. They make you feel rushed a lot of times. They're like, hey, like something's going down. It's only active for a small amount of time, and they like, they rush you through it, or like they reel you in with multiple people. There's those Telegram channels that they'll invite you to, and they'll be like, hey, thanks for the $5. Oh, this is amazing. Thanks for the airdrop. It's like all a bunch of fake accounts. So yeah, anything that sounds too good to be true, obviously, is too good to be true. People are still falling for those scams. Send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 2 in return. People are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money on that stuff. And it's because a lot of times too, it's they get you to make these decisions when you're not in a good state of mind. Like maybe something weird is going on in real life, or you're super tired at night and you're on there, and then like that's when they get you. Like a lot of people, they get scammed when they're like not in their normal state of mind. So I guess my biggest thing would be, before you send any money to anybody, a lot of times, while crypto, a lot of times you have to make decisions in the moment to make money. Anytime you're spending it, I would take, a lot of times I sleep on my decisions. I'm like, maybe I'll just sleep, like late at night, I'll be doing something, like I'll sleep on it and then see tomorrow. You wake up tomorrow and you have a better opportunity. Or maybe you decide, I'm glad I didn't do that. So yeah, my biggest advice would be, never feel rushed to spend or buy your money, or that feeling of FOMO always kills me. I swear to God, every time I feel that, like, you see the chart going up, you want to buy in before it moons, like it always goes bad. You have it's like, take a breath, relax, chill for a minute, and then that's kind of how I like to approach things now. So if it's too good to be true, it pretty much always is. And don't ever send money to anybody, and don't buy shit coins anymore. Pretty much all shit coins are just straight trash. And 99% of the time you will lose money on shit coins right now, I feel like. And if you're lucky, you might make some money, but yeah, it seems like right now, with the current conditions, yeah, just stick to the good shit. That's kind of my advice.
Thanks for that. Does anybody else have? Go ahead.
Shitcoins work pretty well, but only if you have insider information, really. I think that so a year ago, maybe in December, it was pretty easy to buy shitcoins like on chain, and they would fucking moon. But I feel like there's a lot of competition, and I know the people leading in all the sectors, they're pushing out really cool shit, and it's really hard for I know a basic shitcoin to compete now. So yeah, I don't know. It's a lot easier to play the well performing strong assets like Solana or Avex or whatever than buying random shitcoins and hoping that they moon. And if you buy shitcoins, then I know throw max 10% at it. That's what I should have done in the past, but yeah.
I think we all kind of feel that vibe.
Yeah, we've all took some big losses.
Oh yeah.
I will add into this just a friendly advice to anybody in the crypto scene, and they're on Discord. You should never click on a link from a DM ever. What I see happening a lot is with NFTs, there'll be a new NFT project, and there you might be in the group. So let's just for example say the Galactic Geckos. You might be in the Galactic Geckos group. You're waiting on the mint. The mint is not happening for another few days. You get a DM from someone called Galactic Geckos for the minting website. All that's a very common scam. What they'll do is they'll set up a sister site or something that looks very similar to the site that you just connect, and you just connect to mint and allow it in your wallet, and they will empty out your entire Soul wallet. Pretty much, I can say 100%, never click on anything in a DM ever. Most information you can come to Crypto Oasis. We're pretty good. If you're ever unsure about a link and you want to post it in something, feel free to ask people here. We're definitely all here to help. And if anybody else has any other scam advice, please do put it out there and help the people watching.
There's no hot singles in anybody's area, by the way. I've already found that out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You're
What about
shitting me.
MILFs? Are there MILFs in the area?
No, none
Those
of
are the
those.
cats I hit.
Awesome, guys. Well, if you guys don't have any other advice for anyone, let's get this last category knocked out, and then we'll move on to a different section and let people go home. Unless you're already home, of course. And with that, the last subject we have here is China and Bitcoin. China has recently been in the news a lot with Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related events. They account for a huge portion of the market, whether or not we like it or like to admit it. So on that subject, do you believe that China's housing crisis is isolated to just them, or what should we expect next? Crisp, take us away.
Yeah, I think of course it's not just in China. It will affect everybody. But in my opinion, I don't see like an event like in 2008, a big financial crisis, because I think big crashes like that don't announce themselves in that way that we're experiencing it right now. The Evergrande stuff was around for weeks now. I think the big funds already adjusted their positions. I think most is already priced in and is reflecting in the current markets. Yeah, that's my overall take on that.
Man, my take on it, man, is like, bro, I haven't heard that China's banned Bitcoin in a couple of years, so it was about time, right?
Actually, it was a few months ago.
Oh, wait,
in May.
Wait, they just banned Bitcoin mining. They didn't ban Bitcoin.
I mean, right now
Technicalities. The headline always reads Bitcoin banned by China. Go ahead, Chris.
the current crackdown is a little bit more harsh than we experienced it before. I mean, the Huobi now banned accounts from China, which is the second biggest exchange in China. The biggest one is OKX. mining is banned now. Miners escaped. That's a fact. They didn't escape 2017 when it got banned. So yeah, this time it's a little bit more drastically. And I think China will keep the ban now because they don't want a decentralized currency in their country.
When do we get China going?
Soon, in a few years.
Are we impressed?
No,
Are we aping though?
We're not going to have a choice. We have to ape.
Right.
You need to ape
so
in order to maintain your social credit score.
this China stuff
Yes.
is pretty interesting for a change. So instead of the entire market just dying, we see some certain sectors pumping. I don't know if you've been following the decentralized exchange DYDX. It offers leverage, by the way. Lots of the Chinese money has gone to DYDX and FTT because they offer, I guess, an alternative for the stuff that's banned in China, especially the decentralized stuff. It might really pop off. Like normally, DeFi popping off isn't bullish at all, or nowadays because it's like last cycle stuff. You can see how hard this DeFi stuff sold off the last few days or the last week maybe. Although it looked very bullish, but I don't know. I think that these strong decentralized decentralized exchanges that offer leverage will be the play, and China and all the crypto refugees might kickstart this. I know, new era maybe. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's what I want to say.
Well, Guap, that leaves us with our last question, which I'm asking you. What do you think China's agenda is for banning Bitcoin yet again?
Well,
what is their agenda?
They ban anything that's disruptive. Like China's so fucking big. You cannot control that population unless I know you have control over everything that they have access to. You know, they ban Facebook, they ban YouTube, they ban all a Snapchat. They ban everything that's disruptive until they can install their own version, which they have total control over. I think I know China won't be very accepting of all cryptocurrencies, but I think they are looking at their own alternative right now. Yeah. That's what
Awesome. Does anybody have any input on that? No? Okay. Well, this last little bit, I kind of wanted to ask everyone's opinions on their opinion on the next 6 months of the crypto market, specifically, not just the world economy. Let's start off with you, Chris. In 6 months, what does the crypto market look like in your opinion?
I'm pretty sure Bitcoin will have breached 100K.
You believe it will have breached and went back down, or held it?
I think we will see. I personally don't really think it will break down again. I think it will. This one will probably be the last cycle, in my opinion. We will probably see another big crash, but after that we will consolidate and recover. In my opinion, I think, it will go up from here. Regarding other cryptos, I think we will probably see a lot more layer ones pop off and DeFi, another DeFi run up. Yeah, I guess that's the main things that will happen.
Okay. Hey, Buck, what do you think the crypto market's going to look like in 6 months?
Well, I'm always in the crab party, crab raving. As long as it's not going too much up or too much down, I'm all good. But like, I'm always bullish. I definitely think we're gonna breach 100K sooner rather than later, and then it's looking very bullish in the in the longer term, if you look at how other cycles have been ending up, and we haven't had the blow off top we should be expecting, or well, maybe not should be, or might be expecting, So, I think it's looking good, even though it's always scary in the short term hearing any kind of bad news, but I'm pretty bullish.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Madoka, what's your output?
As far as the next 6 months, man, it's a coin toss. It goes either way. I mean, I'm bullish. I'm always a perma bull, bro. Even when markets are just straight bleeding and everybody's posting pink Wojaks everywhere, I'm bullish and I just like to buy the blood if I've got the stable to buy it. 6 months from now, I do actually heavily agree with Chris. At the beginning of this year, I thought the bull cycle was going to end closer to December, January. But with the things that have happened, it just seems that everything's just kind of been delayed a little bit. We didn't have a blow off top or anything like that. Everything just still looks like constant up. So yeah, I do see in 6 months 100K Bitcoin. I see the markets doing very, very well, and I don't. I'm not like really big on super cycles, so I don't really think that we're gonna have the huge crash that everybody's expecting. I mean, of course, we get closer to 100K, we're obviously gonna see a decent pullback from that, but I mean, I don't think we're gonna go anywhere near like 60K once we hit 100, though.
Cool. Now
And
leaves
this
us
is
with
coming from
go
somebody
ahead.
that's
Sorry.
like, my bad. This is coming
No.
from like somebody who doesn't have a job, and I'm like literally all in crypto. I don't work. I just trade crypto and flip JPEGs all day.
That is a very good point to put out.
Constantly bullish on crypto. Just, I mean, even if the market's going down, there's money to be made. You
Very
can't
true.
lose in crypto.
Oh, you can. Very hard.
Yeah, I mean, yes,
I've
yes,
lost
you can.
multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, so have I. But overall, it's kind of hard to lose in a bear market or a bull market, though.
True. That's true. Everyone feels like a genius in a bull market.
Yes.
Well, that brings us to Miner. What's your outlook for the next 6 months on the crypto market?
I'm always bullish. Yeah, all I do is crypto. So for me, it's like if you just zoom out on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, if you whenever you buy, if you wait long enough, or if you just keep accumulating the whole time, usually you'll end up all right. So I'm kind of with Madoka on it. Even if the market is crabbing or going down, there's always you can be bummed out. Obviously, I've took some huge L's and I've had some crazy swings, right? It like kills me. But in the end, a lot of times when I'm feeling the worst and when it's the most dreadful, those are usually the best times to buy. Um, so it really comes down to just having that presence of mind and like being able to recognize there's always money making opportunities. Like no matter what, there's always opportunities out there, and you can get hung up on the L's. You can get depressed about X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're studying up on the crypto game and you're here to make money, there's something out there. So that's kind of my perspective. Yeah, I'm bullish long term. There's always going to be that volatility of the big peaks and the big crashes, the FOMO. There's so much human emotion that plays into it. You can feel it, like when everything's going up and it's wild and everyone's on cloud nine. It's like, and then the crashes. It's like there's all this emotion involved with it. But if you can afford to keep accumulating, usually, at least for me, it's turned out pretty well. So yeah, I'm bullish.
Awesome. Well, it does seem kind of like we have a biased panel here, but it seems that honestly, most people that are here and trading crypto believe in crypto, and it's hard not to be bullish long term. But that does bring us to our short term, which we have a panel here called Walk with the Guap, in which Guap is going to show us the more short term of a few popular coins here. Why don't you go ahead and take it away, share your screen.
Yeah, let me set this up for you guys. So I have a clean account here. Oh, gee. I have a clean account here. Um, There are no charts, and if I find any charts, I'll just wipe them. I just want to get a quick overview of the market. Draw some lines. For Ethereum and Bitcoin, I primarily like using horizontal lines because Bitcoin and Ethereum have the most institutional traders. So let's just adjust to those players and work from there. Okay, I know. I would set a line here. Maybe another clear line is here. Just because price respects them so much. And this, well, I guess we can also draw a line at this stop. And that kind of draws this range over here that we're stuck in right now. And the question is whether we fall below this channel and retest it, or whether we just take a little dip and then move up. For the short term, I'm not really that bullish for Bitcoin. I can just see Bitcoin crabbing like this. Actually, if I'd make a prediction, I would probably just draw something like this. I don't know. I'll give it a few more weeks of ranging, of scaring people, maybe. And during this period, we'll see the L1s, the strong L1s, Solana, AVAX, Sol, really put in their last legs. I don't know. I give it 1 or 2 months for AVAX to maybe have its blow off top above 90. And I don't know, the real party starts, I guess, once we get above 50k. Once Bitcoin gets above 50k, it gets through these levels, then yeah, I don't know what would be the simplest way to show this. Let me quickly change the settings. I like white. Values on the right, in the middle, extend lines to the right, and opacity down. Yeah, I don't know. So this is really the level I'm looking at. It's such a easy system. Like just take the 1.6 fib, but this is probably where I'll take profit. I'm not gonna complicate it. I reckon we maybe I don't know, pop over here. And once it flips this level, I'll look at the next level. But I'm really gonna play this level by level. I think the bullish catalyst for Bitcoin could be the Bitcoin ETFs and just people taking profits into their from their altcoins. Let's look at Ethereum. What can happen with Ethereum? Oh, by the way, for Bitcoin, unless we really get below, I know, something like this, 36k or something, that's really my capitulation level. I don't really hope that we close below here. Then it'd be really fucked. But I know, as long as we are above like 38k, I'm chilling with Bitcoin, and I'll use those chances to accumulate more. Does everyone see the screen, by the way? Okay, Ethereum. What does Ethereum look like?
And yeah, we can see you.
Okay, nice. Let's see if I can make a comparison. Okay, it's performing better than Bitcoin, but also fell a lot harder from the top. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that bullish on Ethereum, to be honest. For now, at least. Like, I feel like lots of other chains are taking Ethereum shine, and it still has the high transaction cost. I know. I feel like we should see a pump eventually, but I think F just might do something like this. It will just keep ranging till everyone forgets F and talks shit about F, and then Ethereum will move. But until then, I know, just grabbing for the, well, maybe not till December, but something like this. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I just see. You know what I think? I think that there will be one last little dump to really scare everyone, and then everyone pukes their position, and then we moon. So the next couple or the next week is gonna be pretty spicy, I reckon. And then I'll move on to the other blue chips, like the other L1s, Solana being the #1 coin. Oh my god, Solana, it pumped so hard. Yeah, I don't know what you can draw on this. You can draw triangles if you like. You can draw just simple channels. But either way, this broke out of its triangle and just went on a ginormous run. It's kind of hard to judge what Solana is gonna do. My gut tells me this was just like the first leg, kind of like BNB. Wait, I wonder if the BNB chart looks like what I'm trying to tell you guys. Yeah, something like this. So this is the first leg of Sol, and then we get the sidewards consolidation, and then we get one more blow off top. I reckon that something like that will happen with Sol. I'm not sure if it will get as explosive as BNB was, but I think Sol isn't done yet. And it's one of the safer high caps to play. And a play you could do if you really wanted to do something safe is, for example, go long Sol and AVAX and maybe short ADA, because ADA is #3 right now in the market cap list, but the tech is shit and the chart doesn't look that well either. I can show you guys. Yeah, I don't know. For me to really get bullish again on ADA, it's just close above this line. That's last all-time high, and it really wants to close below this line. ADA looks kind of sad, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe just slow bleed while older L1s get higher, but I'm not sure. Like once it gets above this line again, then there might be a nice opportunity. But till then, I don't know, maybe look to buy the bottom of this range, something like this. Oh, what else? AVAX. Shout out to Jason. He's been shilling this thing for months. Yeah, this is just very clean price action. Or so this was just a nice fake out. Everyone puked their AVAX here, and as soon as people puked, it ran up. It's been constantly climbing, and I don't know if I get a dip at 60, I might try it. It's a nice retest. AVAX is kind of in the same situation like Sol. I think that these have maybe 1 month left, maybe 2 months left of running up, and then profits will start flowing back into Bitcoin. Atom is also an L1. I can also look at one. Let's see. They all look very similar, don't they? Wait, oops. Yeah. Oh, and then this was the latest stop. Let's see. I'm actually looking at Atom for an entry. Maybe if Bitcoin dips, I can get it in here. And then this should be able to run up eventually. Let me get my something like this. I don't know. Sorry, my throat kind of hurts. Oh. Yeah, I'm looking at something like this. I think all these L1s have a similar play. Just buy the flip of the all-time high and just use FIPS to conclude the 1.6 area. Ooh, this got close, so maybe retest and another try. Yeah, these plays are all very similar. Another L1. Oh, this one is lagging. So this could be a nice future play. It's kind of sad. It tried to get above all-time high, but it clearly got rejected. Here. Also here. So one lacks that clear strength that the other L1s have. I'd say wait for a flip above these levels. Until then, one isn't that interesting. Could just shit itself. What else? Oh, my personal gem. Woo. Yeah, this chart is pretty crazy. It pumped really hard at the beginning of the year. And it's just been consolidating for 6 months or so. Let's see. I drew this out. I'm not sure if you guys know this pattern, but this is a Shuvishof fork. You basically draw a downtrend, and at one of those points, so this is downtrend, so we connect the red candles in this case. If it's for an uptrend, we connect the green candles. And then you basically draw till the top of the first breakout. And once price flips this level, then you can really expect continuation most of the times, especially if it closes the 1 day outside of it. And like the volume of Wu doubled in the last week. I know if I think 10 billion volume should be pretty possible. And once it reaches that, it will really pump hard. So if you manage to get the dip, I'd say somewhere around here. I think this is one of the better plays of Q4 if you can get a Wu dip. And also one of the safer ones because they have a lot of money backing behind it. And partly this price action is also due to this is my last coin that I want to shill. I can maybe do some suggestions for you guys. But yeah, this is one of the decentralized leverage exchanges, DYDX, and this thing is just going crazy. Partly because of the narrative that Chinese people are using it to escape rules and bans, but this might be the start of like a new DeFi cycle where strong decentralized exchanges make use of the Wu network for liquidity. Like 40% of DYDX's liquidity comes from Wu. So yeah, I think these are all highly correlated, and there could also be some nice plays with the correlation that you can mess around with. I don't know if anyone has suggestions for the duck chart. Sure, I'll look at the duck chart. This one is for the community. Let's go. I actually looked at it today. I mean, whoa, it's holding. I mean, structurally, it seems to hold this level. As long as you guys hold 10K, then I think that will be Gucci. But from a technical standpoint, if Duck falls back into this channel, it isn't great. So yeah, let's hope there are some catalysts to bring this coin up. Let's see. Are there any suggestions of things that I should chart, that I should look at?
We got a lot of people still in ZIL, and ZIL's related to the duck token. Let's look at ZIL for a second.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. ZIL, I think it really comes down to It just needs an Ethereum bridge. Once it gets an Ethereum bridge, then I think it will moon. But this chart looks kind of sad, to be honest. Like, let's see. Let's compare all these L1s. Oh, FTM is also a good option for L1s, by the way, if you want to do something riskier. What else is interesting?
Throw
yeah.
one of those top ones on there, Bitcoin or Ethereum. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Let's just. Yeah. I know this performance is really shitty. If I have to be honest, like, simply, Zil needs an F bridge, otherwise it will die. Because all these coins that are mooning right now, they have pretty decent F bridges, and people are bridging their incentives. But until that happens to Zil, it should keep bleeding, I think, or just go sideways. Maybe pump till 1 cent again, or 10 cent again, and go down again. It really needs a bullish catalyst. What else? Yeah, I think those are all the interesting coins. There's a lot of small caps, lots of NFT coins, shit coins, but I'm really just concatenating my holdings into these or into exchanges. I'm also looking at FTT. I think that should be. This already looks so much better than ZIL. It actually made a new high. I mean, look at this comparison. Yeah, but I know I also want FTT to do something. I think I know we'll see something like this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe buy a fake out below here. We know how much Sam loves fake outs, but I don't know. Maybe those are too deep. But I think we'll get a little fake out. People will get scared, and later in the year, FTT should at least have a run up to 100. I think that's one of the most obvious plays one could make in crypto right now. But I know I prefer Woo. I think it has better RR. We'll have to see though.
Awesome. Thanks for taking that time to chart all that stuff for us. What we'll end up doing, since we're only recording audio right now, is we will keep these charts that he has done work on, and we'll screenshot them. We'll post them in the Oasis chat, and from here on out, we'll have a little bit better of a system to record video and share screen. But for now, this will be how we have to do that. And on future panels, we'll be hosting some polls so that you guys can have Guap have a list of coins to shill from here on out, or not shill, but chart from here on out. So it'll be kind of your guys' choices. And then that kind of just brings us back to our ending here. Kind of one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is I wanted to, of course, spotlight opinions here, give tips to the people that are kind of too afraid to ask. But at the end of this, I wanted to kind of spotlight some individual projects that some of the cast and crew here are working on in their own personal lives. So without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to Madoka.
All right. I guess I'll start. So yeah, a lot of you guys are aware that I am launching my own personal NFT project, which was supposed to be kind of kept under wraps, but I ended up bringing too many people from Oasis into the project, so that got kind of slipped up. But anyways, yeah, I'm doing a AI generated project. It's called Finality. I think they're pretty decent. And the cool thing about it is I've got a lot of nice little secrets planned that nobody, well, not everybody knows about. Like, people know little bits and details about this and that, So, I mean, of course, the basis of it is, the AI generation. But like I said, there's going to be a bunch of nifty little things, some DAO functionality, second drop as well. That's going to tie into the original drop piece. We also have some new art that Harry is going to be working on as well to collaborate with us for the second part of it. And you guys aren't going to have to worry about like dilution or anything like that. I've posted a couple samples and previews in the NFT channel. You guys have seen some of them. And I'll go ahead and post a Discord link in here, I guess. You guys check the preview channels from there. But yeah, that's just my own little personal project that I'm getting a bunch of help from with various members of the Oasis community. And yeah, that's that.
I got a couple questions for you. First of all, anything that we did in this podcast that is links, any kind of images or pictures, I'm going to make a single announcement post in the Crypto Oasis that will have all of those in one convenient location. But Madoka, I did want to ask about your project. How many of these NFTs are going to be dropped? What's the quantity?
Okay, as far as like the details on the drop and everything, you're looking at a quantity of 500 mints. I'm keeping it very small. I think that I do agree with people like Miner, saying that they're just like they got mint fatigue, man. I feel that, man. I'm super tired of these projects that have like 1,000+ mints, 10,000 mints, and they're like 1 soul, 2 soul each. So I figured I'm gonna do something a little bit on the smaller side, be more modest. I'm not trying to be greedy here or anything. It's a 500 mint, and it's most likely gonna be 1 soul mint each. A lot of people that are in this project are pretty decent holders. So I do expect there to be decent price movement upwards with it. I don't expect anybody to really paper hand these too much, other than people who don't know what we're going to be doing in the future. If you don't have the OG role in that Discord, I do strongly suggest that you figure out a way to get it, because OGs are going to have access to something really cool really soon. Yeah.
Very hype. I do have to ask you, after your initial 500 mint, will there be another wave? Will there be
It's not-
airdrops, or what's your plan after?
So there are going to be airdrops, not airdrops of NFTs, but there will be airdrops to holders of the NFTs within 30 days of mint. And by holders, I mean it's not on the market. It needs to be in your wallet. That's going to happen within a random day within those 30 days. I'm not going to tell anybody what day it happens. Well, at least a snapshot for it happens until after those 30 days are up. And yeah, as far as the other one, it is going to be a second wave, but it is not going to be a second wave in the sense of a whole new generation of random AI gen stuff. This second wave is essentially going to be handmade complementary pieces to the existing pieces that are there. And right now I'm working on little plans here and there, but these are most likely going to act as keys to your pieces to access some really nifty things.
That is very exciting. Well, I will allow the floor to any other cast members that want to spotlight anything that they're working on. If not,
get some
I
duck
have
talk,
an
man.
announcement of my own.
Oh,
All right, going once, going twice. All right.
no duck talk?
No duck talk. That's surprising. All right. Well, the big project that I have is not really coin or a token or anything. Instead, we are starting a new trading competition. It'll be with the Alphabot, just like last time. I've got a couple more rules that I'll lay out in the channel. This is going to be a public trade. It's going to be 1 month long for the month of October. Might throw in some spooky theming to get more people. But basically, this is going to be a challenge of Crypto Oasis versus the world. I am going to put out there on socials to try to take our money. First place is going to be $2,000. Another thing that we are going to do from here on out with trading competitions is trading competitions will only be paid out in stable coin of your choice. Prizes and other tokens, you might forget about it. It's lost value, gained value. It's not a risk I want our people to take. I want you to get your prize money and it stay your prize money, and you decide what to do with it from there on out. So again, big trading contest starting on the 1st. Signups will start this week. I am going to literally get off this podcast and post all the rules to that. First place will be $2,000. Second place will be $1,000, and third place will be $500. You will have 1 month to trade. You must make at least one trade, and you guys must reset your accounts this week. Standard rules, and that's really it. If anybody has anything else, please let everyone know.
Bullish. Yeah, that's a big contest, so that's super cool. Real quick, I actually did want to show something really quickly, if you guys don't mind, before we head out. So basically, I'm working on a couple of projects right now. One of them being Phantoms. It's Nitro's project. He's doing his own generative art project. They're coming out really good. We're getting like a lot of really good reception, and like the organic growth is like, I'm pretty impressed by the organic growth, and the reception's been really good. So if you guys could like check that out, check out his project. Yeah, he's been working super hard on it. It's like it's all he's been doing. He's been DMing me about this for a while now, and like, so yeah, he's super excited to get this out. So if you guys could check that out, that would be super cool. Obviously, hyped and pumped for finality. Madoka's thing. Sorry if I spilled the beans on that one with my loud mouth. I realized that might have been me.
No, it wasn't just you. It was like multiple people at once, and I was just like, oh, okay, too many people were in on it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, sorry. So, but other than that, there's another project I'm working on. It's called the Lands of Garden Theo Lunanessa. It's from this guy. His name's Wandering Wahoo. He's a super cool artist, and he worked really hard on this project. He spent like 3 to 4 months on this. Like where we talk about shitty art and people rushing projects, like this project was not rushed at all. Like this took many months. It was like, honestly, for this guy, it's like one of his life works. So he's like really proud of this. And yeah, if you guys could check that out, that'd be super cool as well. Logl, LOGL, Lands of Garden Theo Lunanessa. Planning on launching a website for that soon. It should be really cool. The art is super like trippy and colorful, and like, yeah, he created this whole like world. You have to read the Medium article. You have to read it under his own words. Honestly, he's better at explaining it than I am. So I highly recommend checking that out as well. Especially if you want to support the artist, because yeah, he's worked really hard on it. So, and then another thing I'm working on is it's called GFox DeFi NFT or GFox NFT. Getting all new artwork for that. There's a 3D artist that they just hired, and the 3D stuff, it's coming out pretty cool. So yeah, revamping the whole art. They're doing like a token as well with it. They're doing like NFT staking, stuff like that. It's going to be on Solana. So check that out as well. It'll be a while, because there's like still a lot of work that needs to be done. So it'll be a while before that launches. But yeah, those 3 projects I just wanted to show real quick. So yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome. Yep, and thank you for that. And I just want to also remind everybody again, don't feel like you needed to rewind any of that and grab links. Everything that we've talked about here, even if we come up with more projects on the whim, I'm going to post all that in the Crypto Oasis chat and the announcements. So I think that's it, guys. I think that was a good first one. There will be more. I don't have a set schedule. They will probably not be as big as this episode. We'll probably have a little bit less guests. But I think that'll be a little bit more allowing us to learn the more from the guests that are coming on. But thanks for tuning in, and be on the lookout for the recording and announcements. Take care, guys.
Yes, thanks.